guys already answered. So we're gonna just kind of roll on with that. All right. So anyway, all right. So everyone out there who's looking at us right now live on Facebook, I have no idea. I don't have the stats up right now. So I hope someone out there is looking at us, want to talk to us. I have no, I can't even see it. Yeah, all right, anyway, so this is a World of Worlds cast, a piece of them anyway, from a World of Worlds Rise of the King that's premiering in Florida, in Seminole, Florida, by the way, at Studio Movie Grill on the 22nd, which is a Saturday from 6:30 to 9:30. Tickets are at GainesEntertainment.com, so just go there and you get tickets there. You have 2 tickets. You have one for $18, which is just general admission. And then you have one for $35 that includes a dinner. So hop on that as much as you can. There are limited seats, so first come, first serve. Hope to see a lot of you guys out there. You have any questions, just reach out to any of us. Reach out to me first. If you can't, these guys, reach out to any of us. And we hope to see all of you guys there. So right now, I want people just to understand like what we did with this film. It's an independent film, low budget film, of course, but it's all high grade actors, all high grade dedication. And we've been at this for a while. We have some new faces that weren't in the first one and that are now in the second one. So first thing I'm going to do is just kind of go down the line and each of you guys just say like your name and like what character you play. So I'm going to hit up, the way I have it is a little different. So I'm just going to say left or whatever. So I'm going to say Shawn Genther. Just raise your hand and introduce yourself and your character.
Hey, everybody. Shawn Genther, played Juken Erstinrue. And I also played a scavenger in the first one. Yeah. So, but you wouldn't have seen my face. But
you got a little tap in the jaw, that's all right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then I have have Derek Wolfe.
Hey guys, Derek Wolfe. I play Orin Tirosch in the new series, and man, do I get my ass handed to me, man. It gets day of all days, man. But it's a real fun project to be a part of, man. So glad to be here. Appreciate you, man.
Awesome. And let's see, Shawn Orlando Francis.
What's going on, y'all? I am Shawn Orlando Francis, and I play Goon 1, this guy right here. And I also play a soldier as well with Shawn Genther, and so good stuff.
Good, awesome. All right, ladies, let's get to Maria Lavee. Who you play?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I play the Painted Guard, also known as IL-Roserious.
Nice. All right, Ivory.
Hey guys, my name is Ivory. I am a scavenger, aka Aressa, and I kick Derek's ass.
All right, so we let you in on a little plot, so you may want to watch that. Yes. All right. So we got Deziree Rosbeck.
Hi, so I'm Deziree. I play Chip, aka Bello, and she is the Queen of Thieves, and she is badass.
Nice. All right, and then the king himself kind of gave it away already. Who's that?
How you doing, everyone? My name is Robert Rios, and I played Lord Zahyian Crehin. It's been an honor to be a part of this project for as long as I have, and meeting these incredible people. Some I've been performing with for a couple of years, and some are brand new, but all are just brilliant performers and people all around together. So
nice. All right, so I just want to ask you guys too, like, first of all, I'm just blessed to have all you guys on board. And I think that a World of Worlds cannot be anything without you guys. I mean, so no one can replace you guys. So thank you for that. So we're gonna get some questions here that I have. First thing, anyone can shout out whatever. Maybe I just go down the line, but first of all, has any of you played a character like this before that you're playing in this movie? Like, let's go for M first.
Never. I actually was kind of new to sci-fi when I got introduced to A World of Worlds. So it's been very interesting for me because it's been my favorite, just because of the freedom that I've had to play the character. And also, I guess just every time we're on set, it's a different experience. It's not the same tone. There's always a different tone. And so I really love that and appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. Shawn, Elena Francis.
Yeah, this is definitely my first time as well. It was so different, but it was so much fun. Obviously, we had our moments with a lot of hard work had to go in, a lot of professionalism was there, and I really appreciate all of that. And like you guys said, it was awesome working with you guys, and but it was an amazing time putting this character together. So
Thanks, man. All right, Des.
Hi, yeah, no, I've never worked on anything like this. I mean, I've done some different films and stuff like that, but this one I get a little bit more leeway with my character on who she is and how she should walk and how she should feel. And even though if the character was written a specific way, I'm like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like, let me try this. So it's nice because I can try something different. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, hey, I tried. So I feel like I can evolve her in a way, like I feel like the way she's written is great, but it's like I can also evolve her down the road and like, you know what, I think she might do something like this. Compared to like other directors I've worked for, it's just kind of like, this is what it is and this is what you're going to do. And it's kind of like, okay, there's not a whole lot of creativity that come forth. So that's why I love this group so much, is because one, I can be myself. I have a lot of great actors and actresses that I work with that we connect very well, and we can just flow with each other and bounce off each other, and it works. It's not stressful at all.
Nice.
We love you too, Des.
Love you, Rob.
All right, Rob, what about you? Have you played something like this before?
Oddly enough, being Eric in the natural form and the king in supernatural, I feel like the only time I played that is just in real life. My wife, I'm all natural, and to my kids, I'm supernatural. So it's the only other time I've done anything like it.
Right, I'm quite sure you don't make them forget. Like, listen, I don't care how old you get, I'm supernatural.
Right.
All right, so, yo, Derek, how about you?
Oh man, no, this was definitely a very unique experience, man. As Shawn pointed out, it was really demanding. I mean, physically, emotionally, really just a wide range of emotions gone through the entire experience, man. It was a lot of fun, a lot of massive creativity to really bring this to life and to kind of see the end product. This is really profound. So no, this has been great.
All right, Ivory.
I've done one other sci-fi project, but I was like a mad scientist and I didn't get to fight anybody. So this one was way better.
As you see, Ivory wants to fight.
Right, yeah, that's literally what I want to do all day. But yeah, here in Atlanta, I mostly do theater. I end up dancing a lot of the time. So this was definitely something new for me as far as being kind of like a femme fatale, combatant that, kicks ass and looks like while she's doing it too. So
all right. And then Shawn Genther.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing I've ever done is I did a short film called Remedy, where it was about a bunch of people that went backward in time, and I played a character that lived his life backwards. So that was about the closest thing I've done to like this, and I had nothing like the physicality in this. So stunts and fighting scenes, yeah, this is way above the level that I've ever done. So yeah.
Cool. Now, out of the characters that you play, the characters that you are playing, what made you want the part? Because I just went out and started tapping you on the shoulder and whatnot, like, yo, you want to be down with me? You want to be a friend? So, when I was looking for friends, you guys were like, okay, you read the script, you knew what the character was, and you didn't have to say yes, but you did. And I'm happy for that. Thank you. But what made you want to say yes when you read the character? So we'll start with the king first, Rob.
I would say when I first came across the description, it was definitely the action part of it. I have an extensive history in just combative sports, and I just thought how I can finally put some real use to the skills after I had thought I was done away with it. I got to apply it again in another form, in another art form, and on top of that, just kind of add more layers to a character, and the opportunity to kind of play like a dualistic role. Again, like I stated earlier, with the natural and supernatural was something that I felt was is quite challenging and something that I wasn't quite sure I would accomplish or could accomplish, but I was very intrigued by the possibility of fucking that up. And I enjoyed every
fuck it up, right? Yeah. Nah, I knew you'd be great at this, man. All right, and what about you?
Similar to Rob, because I had never done anything like that, I was really intrigued by it, and I love to be challenged. So I wanted the challenge. Then I'm a fighter. I did also have a little bit of background in boxing and different things like that. So I really love the idea of the physical action. And again, also really importantly is that meeting you, the way that you tell a story is really exciting. And so I was drawn into it by the passion that you had for your story.
Right, thanks.
Yeah.
Let's see, Elena Francis.
Yeah, for me, it was a few reasons. This was actually very personal at the beginning because I never told you, Barry, but after you and I had a talk about the story, I talked to a lot of people and I was asking them, hey, can you see me in a sci-fi film? Can you see me doing fighting roles? Most of the people said no. And because of that, I wanted to really test myself and see, okay, can I expand and go beyond what people see in me, beyond just this romantic character guy, this smooth guy? Can I actually put together a character in a sci-fi film and prove to myself and them that I have that talent there? And so that's what really sparked my interest after you had already told me the storyline. So, once the opportunity was there, I was all over it.
That was wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful. That's awesome.
What about Derek?
Man, I just was really taken away by the creativity of the story and really just the strong actors as well. I mean, it was just a cool project I wanted to be a part of. And as Maria just pointed out, man, Barry, you really bring the story to life, man. The way you tell it, I mean, it was simple direction working with you. So, I mean, you laid it out clearly. I could totally, picture it outright. And it was a fun story. I wanted to see this thing come to life. And like I said, be a part of that.
Oh, thank you. All right, so we got someone on board. All right, so my man DP in the house right now, Daniel Pelissier. All right, so we're going around a question right now, Daniel. So I'll get back to you just in a second. All right, so Shawn Genther, why did you want the part? Like, I came to you, I was like, yo, you want to be this? You want to be in this role?
So my first experience was I saw your first episode of this series at a screening where we have local filmmakers and they showed your first screening there, and I was like, wow, this guy's doing a sci-fi feature short for a local filmmaker, and there was effects and everything else, and I was like, nobody is doing that. So when I saw that you had a casting for this, I was like, dude, I want in, and I messaged you, and then we hooked up, and we got together, and that's what hooked me in initially. Was just I saw that you were trying to do something locally that nobody else was doing, and I thought that was fantastic.
Thank you. And who that didn't hit? Des? Yeah, Des. Right, Des.
So actually, Barry reached out to me. I was actually quite flattered because at the time I was still very new to this industry, and I just thought it was so awesome that someone reached out to me just by looking at my photos and picture me as a character. And so at first I was a little skeptical because I'm like, who's this person? What do they want? Just like anybody, is it legit? Is it real? Am I gonna get kidnapped? I don't know. So I did a lot of research. I looked at his information he sent me, his web series, his website. And so I looked at all that, and I was really intrigued. He told me about the character, and I just thought she sounds like such a badass, powerful woman. And I'm like, I never got to play something like that. And then when I went to go meet Barry, I met him and his wife at their house, and we just had a really nice introduction. And he was just, again, so passionate about what he wanted to see come to life. And I thought that was so awesome because he was putting a lot of time into that. sorry, my dog is like barking.
Right.
Because he put a lot of time into that, you know, and to me that meant it wasn't going to be like a rushed film. You know, it was going to have time and effort. And when I seen like the effects and stuff like that were going into it, I was like, he truly cares, not just to make any film, but he really wanted to bring it to life. And, you know, he cared about who was in it and wasn't so like, let's get it done now. It didn't matter how long it took. Let's just get it done right to make sure it has a nice flow and that it performed right. And so I was just really attracted to that because a lot of filmmakers I've worked with, they unfortunately rush a lot of stuff and things get cut and it's messy and it doesn't make sense. And, you know, there's a lot of action in this one. It's not just standing in front of a camera, it's moving with the camera. So like I said, it was a huge, huge opportunity I had, and I'm just very grateful to be a part of it.
No, thank you. Thank you. Before we move, I have one more before I get to Daniel. Ivory. Now, why did you want to play this part? I have a good idea, but let me see what you say.
So, well, when I first was told about the project, it was through Constance. So she auditioned me for the whole thing. So I had no clue what this was about. She sent me sides that were like about a detective or something like that. So I thought this was going to be a completely different project when I first came in. And so when I finally had a meeting with Barry and he's telling me about, you know, it's a sci-fi, it's on a different planet, you know, talking about the energy of the planet and how detailed the system is about how everybody functions, how everything moves, was very interesting to me. And the fact that I got to fight was obviously a bonus. I love to fight. I love to do combat. And this was my first time really fighting on film. So I was super excited about that. That was like 99% of the reason why I auditioned for it.
Yeah.
But once I really got in there and started hearing about the story and understanding the world and, you know, just connecting with Barry, it really like came together. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
No, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. And but now we're going to get to Daniel. Then Daniel came in, so I have to go with another question. So Daniel, you're going to get 2 questions in a row, brother. So here we go.
No worries.
That's all right. All right. So
sorry it took me so long to get in. I forgot this was happening tonight. So sorry about that.
It's very evil of you, Daniel.
It's what I do.
Very evil, right? All right. So also too, Daniel, we got some others coming in. Daph may be coming in late. Hopefully she makes it. And then Constance is doing some construction, so she may be coming in late. So anyway, so you're here. So all right, Daniel. So the first question I asked everybody was your name, like introduce your name, and then what character you play.
All right. So I'm Daniel Pelissier, and I play Syl.
All right. And then also too, what they were answering was, what made you want the part? I mean, because remember, I just tapped your shoulder and I was like, hey, you want to be part of this?
Well, up until I became aware of this project, I had been involved in local theater and student films, and you know, both satisfied my need to act, but they also had their limitations. Theater, of course, requires an incredible time commitment, which conflicted with my work schedule. And as fun as it was and as fulfilling as it was costing me money. And student films, well, no, student films don't cost me money. How do I put this exactly? I mean, they satisfy the need to act and they work around my work schedule. But at the same time, they're all very, very ambitious, and they're all trying to convey some major social message. Some of them are trying to, you know, send like an inspirational or religious message. You know, they're all very, very serious about what they're doing. And I like fun roles. You know, I've been the child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You know, that's not a serious role. That's a fun role. And I really sunk my teeth into that one. And I played the giant in Big Fish. You know, I love fantasy roles. And so when I answered your ad and you got back to me and asked if I wanted to play the villainous warlock in a science fiction action series, I said, fuck yeah.
Thank you, bro. I'm happy that you just said yes. So thank you for that. You know, all right. So all right. So next one is, now all of you guys just mentioned about, you know, like why you want to do it, everything else, and what you enjoyed about it. But now getting into it and now you have to kind of sink your teeth into it and start preparing. How do you guys mentally prepare for your specific role? So we'll start off with Rob.
Mentally prepare for my role. That would vary as scene to scene as we played, but a lot of my preparation was just understanding what my purpose was, scene to scene, you know, what I wanted in the scene, you know, how I was going to achieve it, just the what's and the hows and the whys,
Right.
you know, why I wanted that thing so bad, what I was fighting for, pretty much the 101 to performance. And I just really kind of incorporated just, you know, fatherhood and being a husband. Those two things are like the most important things in my life and the biggest inspiration. And I always try to find a way to kind of incorporate that into anything worth fighting for, because that kept me going scene to scene, and it kept my character interesting. I felt scene to scene and different, and someone to root for at the end of the day. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Paul was just answering my things. All right, so let's go next. Maria, I call her M, so that's Maria. iPhone. The one that says iPhone. All right, so
My bad.
yeah. So how did you mentally prepare for yours?
Well, I'm big on energy. So whatever the state of the scene was, I always wanted to bring myself to that energy, if that makes sense. But also, Barry, you like to showcase the power of a woman, and so that wasn't something that was easy for me, although I may come off a little aggressive. But so I had to tap into that power that I have as a woman, and I think that's the major key right there.
Yeah, you had it. You had what was needed. Absolutely. Derek, what about you, man?
Yeah, I feel like for this role, there was a lot I could really relate to. I mean, up against some tremendous challenges, kind of in a transitioning period. I mean, we're all kind of faced with it in our real lives nowadays. But I mean, really, there was just a lot of introspection, you know, going through the process, working close with Barry. As I mentioned, man, you really brought this story to life. The way that you spoke, the way that you told us to it. So it was clear, you know, taking a moment to, you know, just reflect and find that connection to the character. I always think that there's obviously a part of our real self in each character that we play. So I knew that it existed within it. And again, just great supporting actors around us.
Thank you, man. All right, Shawn Genther. Thank you, man.
Well, I mean, I really don't mentally prepare for anything. I just go in and I let the feel.
My man just said, you know what? I don't prepare for nothing.
I don't prepare. I let the feeling of the scene take me, and then the energy that is present in that scene will come, because you are that character. You're playing the character, and as the scene progresses, the energy just builds to where it needs to be. And once you get to the peak, you release that energy and you let that go. So
sounds orgasmic.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
You might want to
What question are you answering?
That's how we do, man. We're entertainers. We have to let it go. All right, so let's see. And go ahead, Daniel. How do you prepare?
Well, I'm going to be showcasing my villainous chops here with this answer, because this is not going to be the most popular answer. I've tried digging deep with the character of Syl. I've tried doing the Marlon Brando method actor thing. You know, what's my motivation? But the deeper I try to dig, the more I just find I'm wallowing in mud. So really, I don't do a lot of preparation at all. I mean, Syl, as far as I can interpret, is a one-dimensional, melodramatic, villainous character. Okay, he's not Milton's Lucifer. He's the bad baronet who is trying to extort sweet Polly into marrying him by foreclosing on her father's farm and tying her to the railroad tracks. So really, there's not much preparation involved. You just turn off your moral center by reminding yourself that this is a show, and no matter what evil thing your character is doing, it's not going to have any consequence. So just do it and have fun with it.
And do it, yes. All right, Deziree, what about you?
Yeah, so with Chip, she is just very spontaneous, I feel.
Very.
Very spontaneous. I never know what's going to happen. So actually, when I prepare for Chip, so it's one of those things, I used to over prepare with my lines, and I used to sound like so much like a robot, to the point it was like I wasn't even in character anymore. So honestly, the night before, I usually read the script, I go over it, I get a sense of idea of what's going on and what we're doing for scenes that day. So pretty much that kind of leaves a lot of room for error, but it also leaves room for just going with it and just going with the flow and just being real. So even if I fudge a line, I'm going to just go with it. So it's one of those things that kind of comes out a little bit more. So it's just, even if I mess it up, I'm just going to keep going, because if it works, it works. So I don't really overly prepare for her. The only thing I do on set is I flirt a lot. Because that's my character. She flirts, and she's just a natural flirt, and she's funny and cracking jokes, because I like to stay in that character and keep being bubbly. So that's what I tend to do a lot with her. And then sometimes I'll just kind of walk around and start talking to myself, just kind of listening to specific things that I feel may be very important, that I definitely know I want to not forget. And then if there's a specific scene, I like to walk to that scene. Okay, so if when we were on the boat, I want to be able to walk on the boat, I want to touch things. How would, I want it to seem as natural as possible, not like I'm being on this boat for the first time, but just, kind of playing it out.
You're familiar with your surroundings.
Yeah, getting very familiar with it. Especially on the boat. But yeah, so I mean, I just really, honestly, I just go with the flow of it, because she's, she's got a little split personality. She's a little crazy. So sometimes I never know what I'm going to say, and it ends up working out really good. So
nice. Thank you. All right, Elena Francis.
So for me, this was interesting because it was two different characters, so I had to approach it very, very differently. I will say,
actually, not to cut you off. Actually, there's three characters. So anyone out there who find the third one, see which one the other one was.
Yeah,
anyway,
I didn't want to say it because I wanted them to be surprised.
I know, people would know. Like,
three. So
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Right.
But with this one, I was breaking down a lot of specifics, though, Barry, because I'll start with the goon number one. I had to prepare mentally on physically first how I wanted the audience to see him, how he walked, how he talked, his voice. I didn't want any similarities between myself, Shawn personally, or the soldier. So I knew it had to be something completely abstract. And when that day, I remember when we got to set, I remember I just really had to get myself in an angry mood for some reason. Like I didn't want to be in a good mood that day. I wanted to feel like everything I had was taken away from me, which is exactly what the goon was feeling. Right. And so I was just using little video clips. I remember that day, and certain music to really get that character ready and prepared. With the soldier, on the other hand, this is a man in a suit. He's very, very structured with how he fights. He has a very professional fighting technique. So I wanted to make sure all of his movements were for a purpose, and his stance. And you see that, like, this guy's
there we go. Dropped. Yeah.
That was just getting good too. That was getting good.
No, he was saying, he was pretty much saying what I was asking him to do too, where it's like every throw means something. Every throw should be a kill shot. And that was like the same thing with Shawn's character was with him. You guys were able to see that, but yeah, every throw is a kill shot, and the guy won't go down. So everything had to have a lot of exert a lot of energy. So I understand that one. Ivory, what about you? Because you had I'm going to tell people what your role it really is, but without giving away too much, how did you prep?
Preparing for my role was very interesting because she was very seductive and matter of fact when it came to her interactions with Derek in some moments. And then there are other moments that are a little more tender, a little more sensitive, where she was a little more honest and just in the moment and understanding the reality of the world and the state that the world is in, but also being like, I'm surviving, so you're gonna give me what I want when I say I want it. So for me, I enjoy looking at other characters who I feel like are similar. Like I feel like Catwoman is very similar. I'm a big comic book nerd.
Oh yeah,
So,
join the crew.
There's none of
I
those
feel
in
like
this show.
Catwoman, characters like that are very similar to the energy that she brought forward. And for the tenderness, that was super easy to do because I do drama all the time here. So it's easy for me to drop into that. The seductive side was a little harder for me. So that's probably what I had to do for more research as far as like getting into the character fully.
Yeah, because your character has a lot of ebbs and flows. Now you figure like all that you guys pretty much like really solidified your character really well. You pretty much know who that person is right now anyway until I start shifting stuff. But right now you're pretty much hitting the marks. You know what I mean? With that, is there something about the character that you would want maybe the audience to understand more about, meaning that who the person is, what we're showing, but like without giving too much away, there's something that you would say, you know what, I just want you to understand the characters this way. Like, how did you feel like that? So I'll start off with Daniel first, where it's like there's something there that we're not showing you yet, but let's let you understand that this is what they're about, if you can.
Well, I'd like to think that eventually the audience will come to understand that I do more than just talk and flirt with girlies and breathe fire. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
All cool things.
That's all cool stuff, man. That's all people get. You know what I mean? You're the coolest brother.
Yeah, but it's like that guy. I don't know if anybody here watches Metalocalypse, but I didn't think so. But anyway, it's this cartoon on Cartoon Network about this death metal band, and there's this Illuminati group that's following them, and it's all led by this mysterious guy that just sits in a chair, and when everybody's following the events of the lives of the bandmates and wondering what they're going to do next, the guy just sits there in his throne and says, "We wait."
That's it.
I'm like, I really hope that we'll come to understand that Sil is not just the guy sitting in the chair going, "We wait."
No, there's a whole lot. We're going to see.
Okay.
There's a whole lot more eventually coming. Yeah, we're going to see if we can get there too. And then now you got Rob.
And
it's an odd question, but
no, it is. And it's a good question. Over time, or just how it's developing, I really want. What I really want to show the audience is the compassion of the king, but also his willingness to do what he has to do, to be a king, because in being in any form of leadership at any capacity, it's difficult. You got to make difficult decisions, but how far he's willing to go to protect those that he loves, in the righteous fashion that he does, is something that I really was working towards and wanted to fulfill and wanted the audience to see. Very much if I had to compare it to like a biblical character, is more like a King David. Like he's a warrior, but he's also very in tune with his family, his compassion and empathy.
Cool. Genther.
I think what you'll find with Juken is that even though he may be on the technical wrong side of things, that Juken is loyal to a fault. And I think you'll see that more in the future.
Cool. Derek.
Yeah, I think with Orin, you'll see that through pressure and through, trials and tribulations comes a lot of growth and progress. I mean, you're going to see, like I said, a real transformation. So stay tuned.
Yeah, you're right. Des.
Yeah, so with Chip, what I would really like, the audience to be able to know that she's not just some crazy psycho flirtatious hot chick. I want them to see why she got to.
I was really trying to hold up.
Exactly. In case you didn't know, she said, "I'm hot." In case you didn't know.
I want them to understand why she's so crazy, you know, and why
Right.
she has this kind of almost like a split personality, you know, where that comes from, because she's pulling so much deep emotion when it comes out, especially in her rage and, you know, when she's so angry. And then there are some scenes you'll see when she's talking about her past and how much it upsets her and hurts her, you know, and then her loyalty, you know, she's a very loyal person and she's very smart and strong, you know, beyond the craziness and psychoticness that you might see. There's a reason why Chip is the way she is. And I really want people to see that she is a beautiful, strong, powerful person that is very damaged inside. But she's growing almost every episode. I feel like she's growing as a person. And I think that's great. I can't wait them to see that transition of her.
Yeah, there's a lot left to tell. All right, Em.
Well, I think Daniel, he calls me the poisonous flower. And there's reasons for that. As you can see, she's a person that runs with a pack of vile people, but she has this delicacy about her that they don't. And so you will soon find out why that is.
Cool. And Miss Elena Francis, did I get you? I got you, right? No, I
No,
didn't get
not
you.
yet. Really with the goon, I just wanted to win the audience over for that scene. I wanted to be the underdog and people just start cheering and rooting for me despite the gap as far as the odds. I just wanted to bring it out so people, you know, have somebody to cheer for and
cool.
Just to see the passion behind the Wranglers.
Oh, no doubt. Now you think about these kinds of independent films, a bunch of films that we're doing and everything else, you know, it still requires some thought process involved. It still requires dedication, it still requires study, you know, because you're an actor, you're representing yourself and people seeing you, and that's what they're going to judge you on. So of course, everything you do and you take it seriously, because who knows, that may be the only thing they see of you. So everything you do, of course, is vital, no matter what it is. And with doing that, what kind of being this type of role, like this type of genre, you know, subject, what would you tell someone to prepare for? Like, what's different than doing something else as opposed to doing something like this that they should consider before even, you know, kind of getting into it? So I'll start off with like Derek.
Oh, damn. I was wanting some time to think.
Nice.
Really,
Hey, it made me start before, so it's on you.
All right.
Improv. No, really. Open your minds. Like, you know, we've talked about this before. This really felt like a project unlike anything I've ever seen in the past. I mean, really the true creativity, again, the strong emotion and energy that's brought around. You know, again, there's high energy all throughout. Really prepare yourself for, like I said, something different, something unique.
Cool. All right, Ivory. What would you tell like a new actor or an actor that wants to kind of get into this and never did it before? They always been in PSAs or something like that, or some documentaries or what have you, but they want to get into this. What should they know about it?
I would say there's range. So don't ever come in expecting to just be one thing or just be this thing. You're going to be dealing with the world and your response to the world, and then your response to this moment, and then you got to kick somebody's ass on top of it. Like, there's layers to this. So when you come in, make sure you're ready for all those layers and bring that into your character in every scene.
Cool. Yeah, because I always tell people, you know, that you know, the people I get for like this role, you guys, I said, you know, there's layers there that sometimes, you know, that I shouldn't have to tell you about. It's just that you just have to kind of understand the world itself. And I think that's one part about being like in sci-fi, is just that it's not just where you are, it's about what the world is doing. And as long as, like, you know, we all talked about how the world works, you know, meaning that when you know, actually are doing the scene, you know, you're kind of thinking, okay, the world is actually like listening to me, like things are happening around me. The energy is going through me, you know what I mean? Because you're not just in a room, or you're just not in a forest. Because a drama does that. There's nothing happening but Earth. But since we're not, so like, for example, like Deziree, how if someone got into your type of role, your specific role, how would you want them to you know, to prepare? Like, I got Emery coming in.
I feel like there's no right or wrong personally.
Right.
Because in this industry as is, it's, you just kind of, sometimes you just have to wing it and see how it goes. You know, I would say that, you know, being creative and thinking what you might feel like is a good idea, because the thing is, if you hold back, it might be a great idea and you don't get to express that, or you might have missed an opportunity. So I always say, you know, dare to fail, really. Don't be afraid of that, because you don't know if you're like auditioning for something like this, you're like, oh my God, I think this would be a great idea. You don't know till you do it. Like you really have no idea. So it's just one of those things. I just think of who you think that character might be. Like, hey, this is what I thought of, and you know, just go with it. Because, and honestly, in a sci-fi film like this, I mean, you can't really go wrong with certain things, because there's no right or wrong, I guess, you know, because this is a whole different world. This isn't a typical comedy cafe film kind of deal and how people would or should act. This is a whole different universe, you know, everyone's different in their own way. So I always just say, you know, just go for it. Dare to do something different, you know?
Nice. All right. Rob, did I get you already? Did I get you?
No.
Okay.
I like what Des said. You know, I just want to kind of follow up on that. That, you know, there's no right or wrong, and I think the best example and the easiest way I approached it was this, you know, watching children play. You know, their whole like imagination and their worlds are all in the sci-fi always. Like, if you know, and I at times, as I was preparing into stepping into the scenes that we were stepping into prior to film day, I just kind of watched my kids just, you know, be in their little world, and the things that they saw, they felt, how they responded to things that weren't really happening was something I wanted to incorporate, kind of that level of play. So it's a lot of fun. Have a lot of fun with it.
That's one way for people to prepare for. All right, before I continue with the others, my man Emery Oron, who plays a new character called Rinshi Cora, is in the house. What's up, Emery?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Looks like me back in 2015.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
All right, Emery, so let me introduce you to some people you haven't met yet. You already met Ivory, you know what I mean? And then, of course, you know Derek. But then you got Maria Lavee, who's called iPhone on this. She's in the car. And then you got Deziree with the white hat, pink. Then you got the evil warlock Syl, who's next to you on my screen anyway.
Hello.
Hello.
And then you got Shawn Genther up there with the Game of Thrones. Then you got, you know, Derek, and you got Elena Francis, Elena Francis, which is on the top right with his name. And I think that is everyone so far. All right, cool. So yeah, so you know what, Emery, I want to get you to answer a few things that we already answered real quick before we move on.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm late. I'm having some baby issues.
It's all
That's all
good.
right, man. Baby
Been
problems.
there, done that.
Right, you got a lot of parents on here, so I guess they all understand.
I know.
All right, so you know, let me go back real quick on this, and we just roll right through it. All right, so Emery, just introduce yourself and then like the character you play.
Guys, I joined you guys in the second part. Let's say, well, it's not a second part anymore. It's a whole one thing. But you know, I'm gonna be playing Rinshi Cora in general. I like opening portals, so I'm sure you'll find out soon.
Yeah, shit too. You start opening a lot of shit.
So,
Reaching out for shit.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep your hands
Now-
on my portal.
Now the other question too was, Emery, that asked was, have you ever played like a character like this before?
that was my first sci-fi project. Well, like magic type of sci-fi project. I was robot a few times, different projects, but not like playing with magic and VFX type of projects. This is my first, and I like it.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yep.
And,
I like how it turns out.
And then one other thing too is like when you I asked everyone already, and I'll get back to the other question once Emery answers this one. When you got the role, how did you prepare like for the role? You know, people like to know these things.
I'm a big fan of, you know, this genre. We all grow up with, you know, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter style movies, and I'm sure we're all fan of them. You know, I just create a character in my own imagination, and then I'm like, okay, let me act like this, let me move like that, let me talk like it. And when I came to set, I gave you a little bit of what I can do, and you just let me be, and you gave me the freedom of the play, and I just did it. That was the whole thing, and that's it. Thanks for being one of those cool directors that let the
Nice.
actors do their own thing.
There's a
So
fly,
we were-
man.
yeah.
The fly. All right. So then the initial question before Emery came in was like oh yeah, how would you prepare, like what would you tell a new actor or someone interested in this genre that's never been in it before? They do all this stuff, I was saying, like PSA stuff or documentaries, but now they want to get into this type of genre. How should their mindset be? So I'm going to go for Genther next.
I would say be prepared to get physical, because there's a lot of physicality, and yeah, you just have to be able to play. I mean, it's fun, it's good stuff, it's fantasy, and when you play fantasy, you have to sometimes tap into your inner child and let your imagination run wild.
Nice. All right, Daniel.
All right, so I have a couple of different answers for this question. One being, if you're a voraciously ambitious actor, number one, slow your roll. Number two, you might, look at something like this and sneer at it, like, oh, well, low budget sci-fi, blah, Tommy Wiseau, Ed Wood. But remember that Matthew McConaughey, who I think is still an A-list actor, I'm not sure, I haven't really been following his career, but before he started getting into some more ambitious big name projects, his first film was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film that debuted at like a horror movie convention.
Right.
So there's always a place to start from. But the other answer I have for that question goes back to an experience that I had when I was playing in a comic farce over at Manatee Performing Arts. One of my cast members was talking about the different purposes of the different acting media. He said, you do films to get famous, you do television to make money, and you do theater to hone your skills. And I would say that the purpose for this particular genre, this particular medium, is to maintain the fun element, because if you're not having fun doing this, then it's all work. And what does all work and no play do to Jack?
Right. No, that's a good answer. You're right. It's about fun. That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Emery, what would you tell somebody that they say, hey, listen, I want to get into this whole sci-fi thing or action stuff. I never did it before. What should I be looking for?
Well, as an actor, if you categorize yourself that, hey, I'm just gonna be a drama actor, I'm just gonna be a comedy guy, I love comedy, I don't want to do this, whatever. But if you're an actor, and you're open mind and you want to do anything, this genre needs a lot of work. You got to get into it. You got to watch a lot of different movies in that genre. You got to take on different characters that you like. You're like, oh, I like this character. You do research, you do study on them, and then you create your own characters. You play in the mirror or do something before you get into even taking auditions for sci-fi type of project. I can easily recommend anybody to do that. I mean, I love it. I've been in this. I didn't need years of preparation, but for someone who doesn't know anything about sci-fi or hasn't taken any role in a sci-fi project, you got to do some research. That's what I can say.
Right. Yeah, I think that too. That when a director or a writer or producer comes to you and kind of throws some movies to you or an idea to you, and you're like, what? That's going to hurt, because it's like, well, you should know this, or you should at least be familiar with it. And we just kind of make our own. But no, I understand that. Yeah, I think for any film, I think, yeah, it goes like for almost any genre too, that if you see something you like and you never dealt with it before, you should just do your homework like anything else and start watching those movies and see what those actors, what the rhythm's all about, like who's into these things, why they're into them, what's the whole purpose of them being filmed in the first place. It's a reason for everything. So, and I'll get into Elena Francis. What would you tell somebody, man, that wants to get into this for the first time?
Yeah, so I got a few answers, man. So first thing, don't come Hollywood with the shit. Like, please don't. Be humble. All right, learn the character, learn from your cast, learn what the production and director wants from that actual character. Next thing is you got to prepare. Like, you can't just come into this empty-handed. Like, you have to physically prepare, whether that's getting rest, the night before. You have to eat a certain type of way. You just have to be ready for whatever that character is going to demand, so that you can really give 100% of whoever it is that you're about to portray. And what was my last name? What was my last thing? I might skip it, but those are the most two important things. So I got those out of the way. But yeah.
All right. Yeah. Em, did I get you? Em, did I get you on this?
No, I agree with pretty much what everyone was saying. Mostly open-minded and having fun. That was a big part of it. But the other thing I'll add is don't judge your character, because being in a lot of different genres, it's stuff that we see every day in life and things that we get to empathize with. But being in a different world, I mean, it's just new. There's a lot of things that happen in the world that likely aren't going to happen in your world, and so you just have to be comfortable with who that character is and what they represent. So, other than that, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Barry, one more thing.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
What I was going to say was,
you got it.
My bad. What I was going to say last was build a backstory for your character, because it'll really help you also to figure out, how you want to act them out. So try to put together like a backstory, who he is, where he came from, some type of story, so that way you're ready.
No, I understand it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing too, I like people to know about doing these types of films, I think a lot of times people who don't do them, or just maybe not had a chance to kind of come across a project like this, or of any scale, it's just that this is the only genre, and it may not, like I said, people may not like what I'm going to say, but it's the damn truth. This is the only genre that can combine all the genres. There's no other genre that can put another genre in it and not become that genre. Sci-fi action is everything, because number one, if you're sci-fi, you're sci-fi. You can put drama. Drama is the base for every story ever made. It's always a drama base, right? That's your plate, and then whatever you want to put on top of that is up to you. And then on top of that, if you want to do a documentary, you could do a documentary style, maybe a backstory. You can have these elements that are in there. Drama, of course, like rom-com. You can put romantic comedy in there, and they're all that, because they always put a little edgy comedy here, a little edgy comedy here. Got some flirtation going on, like Chip's character. You have that in there. So when you look at sci-fi and action, especially in our genre, guys, I always love to tell everyone, I said, you know what? This is the only genre, like I said, can combine them all. If you want to put theater in there, sure you can, because you could put a moment of that where you could just have the camera sit and let just two people spar at a moment. You know what I mean? I mean, we've seen that before, just to kind of get some kind of a moment out of it. Maybe the camera just kind of spins around and those two actors are going at it for 3 minutes. There are elements of everything. That's why sci-fi is so cool and fun, because no matter what you do or where you are or where you came from, you can always find an element of whatever you came from and put it in there, because there's space. And the other ones you really can't. You can, but you really can't, because then people say, oh, that's romantic comedy because they're doing a lot of loving and kissing and laughing. Well, no, it's a drama. Yeah, but you're kissing and laughing. Yeah, you're kind of romantic comedy. You go into a drama or something like that. Next thing you know, you have a guy shooting a laser beam. Oh, no, that's on the TV. Yeah, but it's laser beam. So it's probably a little sci-fi there. But ours, it's everything. And I think that's what's so great about what we do and what we like and what we got into. And it's one of the reasons why I created this, and I wanted all you guys involved, because I actually handpicked every one of you. I'm just glad you said yes. Not everyone says yes. I'd be like, yo, get out of here, yo. But most people say, yeah, yeah. So I'm just happy for that, guys. I really do. And like also too, one last question, because it looks like probably Daphne's not gonna be able to make it. Constance's having trouble with her construction deal. But before we wrap it up, one other thing is that is there something you guys want to know about yourself or what you're doing so the whole world could actually still follow you even after they watch our premiere on the 22nd? So I'll start off with Emery. Anything you want the world to know that any coming up or whatever that you like people to know about?
Well, I don't know, man. I'm
Hair products.
selling
that.
That's a tricky question.
I'm buying it, bro. I'm buying it.
I don't know. I took about two and a half years off from fighting.
Right.
I'll probably go back to fighting again. I'm training. This is
really?
my home gym, guys.
My guy, look at that.
Little bikes off the wall, but here's my home gym.
Show your awards. Yeah, show everybody your awards, by the way, so they know what you are. No, go to your awards. Your belts.
Holy snap, bro.
Yeah, your MMA championships and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's his bike, by the way, too. A little bike. That's his bike. No, I'm sorry.
So I'm probably gonna go back to fighting, just a little bit, just to keep myself busy. But in the meantime, I have a few productions that I'm in touch with. I might be in March, May, maybe February. I might be coordinating some stunt teams for a production, Hollywood made movie. I'm excited. It's not a gig. I mean, not a acting gig, but I'm gonna be a stunt coordinator in big budget movie or two. We'll see. Other than that,
good.
There's one.
Keep it going.
There's one movie that I got to play a villain in it. It's a Hollywood made movie again. It's called The Ride. Dean Cain is in it. The TV.
Former superhero.
Yeah. Superman. So it's gonna come up sometime this year, 2022. Other than that, I don't know, guys. I'll just keep grinding.
Keep swinging, brother.
Keep auditioning and all that.
Keep tapping jaws. That's all right.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for your next project, which is gonna be vampires and werewolves.
Yeah. The vampires next, guys. So that's gonna be fun. Oh, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. Hi, Ivory, you next. Anything you want the world to know that you're gonna do or doing something? Anything?
I don't have anything active right now. Kind of similar to you. I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff lately. I've worked on a couple of commercials. Actually was a production manager not so long ago, so that was exciting.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, other than that, you can follow me on Instagram. Go for Ivory, GOFORIVORY. For any other stuff that pops up. But right now, it's really just I've been looking at film from a different angle. And so I do still want to act, of course. So Barry, I'm gonna be a vampire or something,
Right.
But but kind of taking this slower time period to hone my craft from multiple directions.
All right, nice. All right, Des, what about you?
Besides the vampire film we have coming up, which I'm super stoked for because I've been in many vampire films and they don't give me teeth. Okay, I want the teeth.
Yeah, but Derek's like that too. He's like,
no,
what?
I don't know. Okay, so I'm super excited about this.
Like, yo, budget. I mean, we got no budget. You just gonna have to grin. Right?
It was like cough syrup and no teeth. Okay.
Yeah, gum somebody to death.
So I'm super excited about that. Like I cannot wait for that. I actually took a little bit of a step back. So mainly I've been just more filming for you. I haven't took on any other projects, just more focusing on myself, kind of what I want to do with my life and where I want to go. And then the next 2 years, my goal is to travel the world. That's what I plan on doing.
As long as I can get to you, that's all that matters.
I will fly
It
to
always
you.
comes back to that. I'm like, no matter where nobody
Yeah,
goes.
my goal
like,
is to actually travel the world. So as of right
Nice.
now, just filming with you and then traveling the world and seeing what the world has to offer because, you know, life's so short.
Damn right. Damn right about that. What about you, Rob?
You know, my heart right now is in charity works and education. I'm in Bible college right now. What I do have going on in June is I'll be over on a mission trip, sharing the gospel in El Salvador and helping build an orphanage for children out there because they don't have government support like we do. So I'll be going out there with the team in June. I have a GoFundMe on my Instagram and Facebook. For anybody that wants to contribute to that, but I'll be there either way in June helping.
What's the name of your organization so people know? What's the name?
It's Impact. If you check my again Rob Rios on Facebook or at Rob Rios Jr. on Instagram, it'll be on there and all the details. If you go on the GoFundMe, all the details will be there with the specific project that we're doing and the organization that we're doing with.
All right, awesome. That sounds good. All right, Em, what about you?
I'm similar to everybody else. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus because I've been doing some soul searching, but I have plugged this many times, but I did produce and act in a film with my boy Troy Williams, Positive Outcome, which will be coming soon to Melanin TV on Roku TV. So I'm really proud and really excited about that. So when that comes out, please support and check that out.
Awesome,
I will be back in the game, huh?
I said that looks awesome, by the way. I seen the previews.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Definitely a passion project. So yeah, I look forward to Barry's new project, and I want to get back in there because it gives me a sense of purpose, and so hopefully you'll be seeing some more of me soon.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you will be. Hell yeah, you know it. You know it. Hi, Daniel. What about you, man? What you up to?
Well, based on the answers I've heard so far, I think I misinterpreted the question when I first heard it. It sounded like you were asking for something that I want to know about my character. So for the sake of just for the fun.
Did I get you on that one? I thought I got you on that one about the one.
Well, no, it was just that I misheard you. It was just that I misheard you.
Oh, okay.
But just for the fun of it, I'll answer both questions.
Okay.
What's going to be going on in my life outside of World of Worlds? Well, I'm doing a drag show at the Purple Rhino on January the 29th.
Oh yeah, you've been doing a couple of those. Yes, yes.
Yeah, mostly virtual shows just because nothing's been available to me live. But I've since reintroduced myself to the Rhino environment and been invited to come back and perform. So that's happening.
Right.
Also, on February 5th and 6th, I will be performing in a 10-minute play for Theater Odyssey, which will be taking place at the Cook Auditorium at the Oslo. And other than that, I'll just be cutting a fuck ton of hair at my new full-time day job at Great Clips. And as for the question that I thought you were asking, what do I want to know about my character? Will Syl ever learn the true meaning of Christmas?
He is, yo. He's going to take it from you. Shove it right there. That's what he does. All right, Derek, what about you, man? Anything going on?
Yeah, actually, been working with a production company and a local author out of Flagler Beach. Guys published a couple books, and we're bringing them to life through a few miniseries. A new one I'm actually going to be starring in as Steve Salem, a private investigator in a series called Backseat to Justice. It's a really cool storyline.
Yeah, I saw you with your hat and your gown, your whole regalia just kind of hanging in the chair, just chilling.
Yeah,
so I was like, all right.
Yeah, got the film noir style, black and white. It's a really cool, it's still present day. It's not a time period piece by any means, but a lot of action in that. You can check that out at blinddogproductions.com.
Nice. All right, let's see, Genther.
Yeah, I've been super busy. For some reason, Palmetto's got tax incentives, so I did a I did a feature film in there called Dark My Light with about 3 big name TV actors. So you can check that out on IMDb. And then I did a shark files episode for season 2 that'll be on Nat Geo on Disney Plus.
Really? Are you messing with sharks now, Shawn?
Yeah.
What the hell, bro? We do it easy around. You're coming in with one leg.
Yeah.
It's like Juken can't be having like one leg. But
No, I played the lifeguard. I saved the guy, so it was cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Elena Francis.
Hey, Shawn, you should have used the same accent too, by the way. That would have been but for me, this year is all about growth, guys, and I really want everybody to witness that, and I want everybody to see where I am now and to see my talent at the end of 2022. I do have about 3 or 4 projects that are being released this year. I don't really post on Facebook, but if you follow me on Instagram, legendary_Shawn, you'll see everything that I'm planning to have released for this year. So,
is there a project that you could throw out there, like a name?
The most soonest project being released would be Complicated. Complicated. The series is going to be the soonest to come. That's going to be released on Vimeo and YouTube. So I have the links on that on my page, legendary_Shawn. We're still working on a few things with Complex as well, but I'm gonna keep everybody updated with that also. That one I have a lead role in, and that's my first lead role actually. So that's going to be a big project for me. So,
congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So, congratulations to all you guys, man. Thank you so much. Number one, thank you for coming on, for making it. I appreciate that. And for these of the world is know who you guys are, what you guys are more than just these makeup people in these movies. At least get to know who you guys are, what you're doing. And I'm just happy all you guys came on and joined me tonight. I appreciate that very much so. And let's just keep it going. Let's keep it popping. We have a lot of stories left to tell, all of us do. So just be safe out there, everyone. Do your thing. Don't get on a run somewhere. We need you. Stay humble. I love you guys. Yeah. And I'll see most.
Make sure y'all buy the tickets too. Make sure y'all get the tickets for next Saturday. Okay, January 22nd. Don't sleep.
Nice. Thank you. That's how you close it, brother. That's how you close it.
Oh, Shawn, you gotta have me up like that at home, bro.
Yeah.
Need that.
Yeah, definitely. If anybody's watching right now, that's right. So June 22nd, January 22nd, next Saturday from 6:30 to 9:30. You're going to see this right here, A World of Worlds, Part 2, Rise of the King. It's making its premiere. All right here and more are going to be there. So if you want to, come by, talk to them, meet them, and everything else, please do. And we really hope that a lot of you come through and just give us some love and have a good time with us. And let's just try to make this a party. All right, everyone. I'll let you guys go. Everyone enjoy your night. Be safe, and I'll see you guys in like 7 days. All right.
Hey,
All right.
Peace.